Can you put two and two together, Josh?
That's right. It's that time again. Late Night Thoughts, the original podcast by Real Deal Media, is back here tonight, where we're going to be discussing everything and nothing at all. Tonight is Guilty Pleasures of the Musical Stylings, right here. We're going to bring two guests on here tonight who are going to be duking and battling out, and maybe some more duking, but on another level. We're going to be getting down to it all here. We're going to be talking about guilty pleasures in the art of music, as well as the overrated artists that have been spoon-fed down our gullet. We're going to be bearing our souls tonight, and maybe even bearing more, depends. So, ladies, break out those dollars. We got to get through college somehow. As now it's time for Late Night Thoughts. Oh, it's me. Hello, everybody. Good evening, everyone. I am Dean Ryan. I am, I'm sorry. We're just what are we, 3 minutes late? When you're exercising, you're pumping iron, and you're also trying to save old ladies crossing the streets, life can be hard. Welcome to a members-only kind of ordeal here tonight, as Late Night Thoughts is back, as we're going to be mucking it up with some of the greatest musical minds in the form of analysts here tonight, and go through a lot of top 2, top 3 list that you're going to want to take note of at home. And also, by the end of tonight, you're going to hear about some new artists, because we want to showcase new artists, because, music and the world of music isn't as centralized as it used to be, as we now live in a decentralized society in all forms and varieties of it. But we're going to be recommending some incredible new artists for you tonight that you want to check out. We'll try to play some of that. But in the meanwhile, we're going to find out just exactly how we got here. But let's now welcome back to the stage here. This is a man who has a certain glow about him, an extra step in his walk. Yes, he is. And he has a huge right arm. That's the one and only Connecticut's favorite son, the one and only Sean Gregorian. Sean, it's so good to see you. Right, very good to see you. Okay, there you have that. Finally here, our last but not least, I should say, is this next guest who's going to be part of our panel here tonight, and we reunited over there at christianmingle.com, a storyteller, and he's an artist in his own right, but more importantly, he's a music lover, and just happens to be the cousin of one of the greatest guitarists of all time over there at Radiohead. Maybe we'll talk about that later. The one, the only, Matthew Millan. Matt, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Glad to be on.
Good to see you, Sean. We met backstage, and hopefully everyone can see me, and all that stuff. Tonight is going to be we're going to have a good journey, a musical journey tonight, and it's so important that we do so. And, we're going to be getting into some of the overrated artists of all time. We're going to have some fun with that. The most overlooked artists of all time. and also the top 2 musical guilty pleasures. And let me tell you, everybody, Sean has a lot to be guilty about. I could just tell, you know what I'm saying? Right, Matt? I mean, we can tell he has the Bay City Rollers in his collection, don't we? He just has that vibe about him. So we'll be getting into that, and as well as some new artists here. And then we'll hear a little bit about Matt and what he's doing behind the scenes here at the half. So are you guys ready for this?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and no cheating, no biting, no scratching, and I'm open to bribes too if you need that favor. And also, we're going to take recommendations from our members-only live chat at home, so you don't want to miss that. Okay, so let's start here, and let's now get going with. Let's start with. I'm going to start with you, Sean Gregorian, as we are now talking about. We're going to start with the top 2 most overrated artists of all time. Let's go, Sean, and then we'll get you, Matt, and then I'll close the panel there. Go ahead, Sean, please.
Well, I don't know. The term overrated, I mean, gets thrown around a lot. Maybe overused and misused. I guess I don't know. Don't want to go with the old standby Taylor Swift, but a lot of people probably wouldn't be too happy with me, but as far as hip hop goes, I never liked Tupac's. I thought Tupac was overrated.
Okay.
While we're on hip hop, we could put Drake in there too.
Sure. Okay, Sean, this sounds personal. We're just trying to get your list here, and so, geez. Okay, Tupac Shakur.
You want to go back to the
managed...
80s? I don't like Billy Ocean either.
I see a trend here, a theme too, if you know what I mean. Let's just move on quick.
I said Taylor Swift.
You don't like
that was insurance.
The extremely literate poetry of "Get out of my dreams, get into my car."
That song redeemed him a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, thank you very much, Sean.
That song redeemed him. So.
Okay, so Sean, just to be clear, because we do have a panel of judges watching this from afar, and we also have APAC watching too. I have an APAC babysitter. You're saying Tupac? Tupac is your first artist that you're picking?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. All right. Okay, there you have it. All right. Now let's go to Matt. That's a hard act to follow. Let's see if you can do it. I'm sure you can. It's not hard to beat Tupac there. But Matthew Millan, tell us your first overrated artist of all time, if you could. Go ahead.
You too. I think their first couple albums were very, very good. I did like Joshua Tree, but then after that, I remember being excited about getting Octung Baby in '91 for Christmas. And then I heard it and I just thought it was dog shit. I could not stand Octung Baby. So that would be my first one. And ever since then, I just, they're just so pompous. They're just such a pompous
without doubt. There's no argument there. But remind me of somebody remind me of Octung Baby. What was on that album specifically? Just to
Mysterious Ways.
Oh, so you didn't like that album? There isn't one song on that album, or
no,
just?
I mean, Mysterious Ways is tolerable, but if you compare to their old stuff like War, which was, they came out of the post-punk movement. They had a lot of vibe and energy. Right. They had some punk energy to them. And then they just became pompous. They became full of themselves. In my opinion, at least. So yeah.
It's almost like Bono, kind of put a damper on a lot of their upward trends. I agree to that. But I must say, in a honorable mention of guilty pleasures, and I know I'm jumping ahead, I really liked the pop album. It's not nice to say, I guess, but it was at that time I was also getting into electro rock. So it was just for me, but totally understandable, but yet a lot better than Sean's first pick there. So let me give you mine, if you don't mind. So my my first pick for the most overrated artist of all time. And this was very hard. I mean, there's a lot to say, but this might be my one and number two pick too. We'll see, but it's Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder, because he's not a blind bastard. He's a
Oh.
lying bastard. You know damn well he can see. He's been doing an act for all this time. And if I have to hear my Sharia more one more time in the produce section at the grocery store, I'm going postal. I'm going postal. And furthermore, when I do die eventually, please do not donate my eyes to Stevie Wonder, because he'll just use them to make more crappy music. Okay, so that's my first pick. That's how I'm playing here tonight, Sean. Okay. And does everyone you can disagree with it too. Somebody, you can object to it here on the panel. Feel free to do so if you feel I'm mistaken. Here we have Blondie, who said Drake is trash. Okay. He is trash. Marnie says, I can't stand Drake.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think most people will agree on that now. So.
I'm not even familiar with his music. We have Seth, who says, hello, hello. Here's another thing called Vertigo. And finally, never been a fan of U2 apart from the pooped or propped up singles they pushed. Yeah. Okay. There. Well, you know, we all have our choices. Okay, Sean, give us your second pick here for the night of the most overrated artist, and go right ahead. Go for the gusto.
I just wanted to make a comment about U2 first. I agree with what he said about they had some good, songs and albums in the beginning. I think it's fair to say they're overrated. I think they blew up much bigger than what they could carry. But I actually like the album Octoon Baby because I like the experimentation, some of the sample loops and that sort of thing. The most popular song on that album was probably One, which I don't know, I just didn't really care for that song. But anyway, that's what I had to say about U2.
Are you talking about the song Lemon? Is that the song you're talking about?
No,
Lemon?
there's a song.
No,
called
there's
One
one
on
called
the album,
One.
yeah.
It was just called One.
Oh, One.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
I think
Uno.
Lemon was
Okay.
Zooropa.
Yeah, it was all big blur to me. I mean, I remember just the big tours, and I always hated that. I thought it was so tacky when they were on the MTV VMAs, and he had to call George Bush and do this whole thing. You're right. The more I think about it, man, I'm really starting to hate Bono and U2 just more than I ever have before. So
I don't begrudge the experimentation. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Metallica stuff after with the Black Album and beyond, but I appreciate bands trying to evolve. So I never gave Metallica shit for that, because I appreciate that they tried to evolve, because some fans, like there's a band I like called The Sword, and the fans hated their new albums, which I think are much better than the old ones, because the rest just sounds like Black Sabbath. So
it happens. Like there is a whole generation of people that love the Beatles' later work and can't stand their early work, versus people that like the early work and don't like the later work. I mean, it's a generational thing too. So it's rolling the dice. Okay, let's go to number 2 here. The final pick of the most overrated artist of all time. His first pick was U2, and man, that's a slam dunk right there. There's no objections. But let's get his second pick here tonight. Matt Millan, if you would, show us the way.
Coldplay. I just don't get it. I just do not get it. Apart from it sounding like there's a guy on YouTube that showed all the times Coldplay ripped off somebody. And I think Chris Martin has even admitted that. I do not get them as a band. I just don't.
Okay.
So.
Let me just to be objective and to add some salt to our sugar fest here tonight. I am so with you on Coldplay. However, I must say, and I have to be true to myself, is the first 2 albums of theirs I absolutely adored, especially the first one. And this was a band that was critically acclaimed, and actually appreciated by like metalheads, because they would play at they would play it on the lineups with like heavy acts, and then Coldplay would come. That first album is great. His second album, but where they lost me is around the time he started hanging out with Gwyneth Paltrow, and then he's now pop, and he's got his little earring on, and he's trying to be like Justin Timberlake, and So I'm yes and no. I'm conflicted on that. Sean, would you agree to my assessment of Matt's assessment?
I've never been a fan. I think they're a good pick. My my nephew's here with me, and he's not too happy about it.
The first 4 albums are awesome.
Well, I said the first 2 albums, but Sean has. I don't think Sean likes the music of the youth. That's what I'm learning here tonight. Okay, so is it my turn here? And before we go to me and myself, we have a lot of people who are very opinionated. We have the wonderful, the evanescence of Seth Black saying the following, that James Taylor sucks. I would agree to that, and I'm sure Carly
Well
Simon
played,
would agree
Seth.
to that.
I agree to that as well. I can't stand his
Yeah,
voice.
Seth. I agree to that, but man, Seth, talk about the low-hanging fruit there, but you got it down. We'll accept it. Marnie says Sting is pretty bad. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, Sting, because on one hand you could say he's over-commercialized, he's everywhere, but he's one damn hell of a musician.
Well, and lyrically, his lyrics are fantastic. I think he's a brilliant lyricist. So, and Synchronicity, the One Police album I really like. That's a phenomenal album. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you know who I can't stand though in the Police is Stuart Copeland. I cannot stand that drummer. He's so. Yeah. Okay. And Seth, who was on the good list on the up and up. Well, now he's causing chaos as a chaos agent saying, I'm praying Matt says Oasis. Hey, Seth, nobody asked you. Careful. Okay. But you made up for it.
I would have in 1995. I would have said Oasis.
Now, why is that? Why in 1995 you would say that versus today, Matt? I'm just curious of my own. What's the change?
I think it's because of the nature of myself. I mean, in 1992, I hated Alice in Chains, and now, I mean, and I really secretly liked them. It's just too many people liked them, and I just couldn't admit that I really liked them. And I think the older I got, the more I'm like, come on, man, you like that Oasis song? Stop bullshitting yourself. So,
well, also too, Matt, you have to go ahead
because they got popular when I lived in the UK first.
Yeah,
they got popular before they got popular in the States, and I was just so sick of hearing them. So,
well, we have to remember too.
Yeah.
We have to remember too, as they're doing their big tour right now. Is they got a lot of bad press in the United States, which I later would come to learn is they pissed off a lot of industry people, behind the scenes because they won't play the game. Therefore, they got some bad press. And and that's the first impression on the US. They couldn't finish a tour. So, it's perception is reality, as they say. Okay, so here's my number one. Let me go for it now. My number one of most overrated artist of all time. Well, it has to be. It wasn't hard. It was not hard to pick this. It is Bruce Springsteen. I cannot stand that guy. It looks like he's never washed his jeans in 40 years. He looks like he smells like an ashtray. His songs are just, it's like he wrote his songs like on a bender of booze, like he was trying to channel, Bob Seger on a just late night. It's just nothing about him. I mean, there's only one song I like on a rare album. But really, to me, what made Bruce Springsteen was Clarence Clemens, his saxophone player, who's no longer with us. But that's about it. Outside of that, can't stand him. He's just, to me, he's just another Democrat hack. And in the same way, I'm thinking, who plays for the Republicans now? So you know what I'm saying? Right. So there you have it.
He's your kid.
Kid Rock, yeah. And I never liked Kid Rock either. And I don't know how,
You know how Rick Beato, speaking of Kid Rock, you know how Rick Beato has the, what made this song great?
Yeah.
Some dude did what made this song shit, and he picked one, the Kid Rock song about something about the summer, and it just shows how bad a musician he is as well.
I'll tell you, his saving grace where he got lucky was was it Pictures of You he did with Sheryl Crow? That made a big splash in the Nashville network, so he got lucky on that one. Okay, so that wraps it all up there with the top 2 of everybody. Just to recap it, Sean picked Tupac, Taylor Swift for some reason, and the last one, which one was it, Sean? Please remind me. I'm just so baffled.
Well, I was gonna say Dave Matthews Band, but my nephew's here, so I can't say.
Thank you, Sean. You've won me over, man.
Yeah. So Taylor Swift and Tupac, right? That's who I got. Taylor Swift and Tupac.
Yeah.
Okay. Taylor Swift and Tupac. Honorable mention, Dave Matthews, who I can get that, but
I just like to say something. Just because I picked Tupac and Dave Matthews does not mean I'm against African Americans.
Oh, you are so against the people of color and women in the industry. I so got that from you. Okay. And then Matt picked U2 and Coldplay.
I'm against Irishmen, so.
Yeah, he's against the Irish. There's a lot of prejudice here tonight. You'll learn. But also there's a lot of similarities too. Like U2 and Coldplay, you had 2 frontmen that just kind of went megalomaniac, gangbusters big. So I see a similarity. And then I picked Stevie Wonder, okay, and Bruce Springsteen. And which, by the way, all these artists we say, except for maybe Sean's picks, there's always at least 1 or 2 songs that are great or, we like. So don't think it's, we're throwing the bathwater out with babies. So let's go to our second one here. Now we're going to get into the 2 most overlooked artists. Just like when we did the 70s special here at Real Deal Media. Well, I thought it was it was such a, I had to make a bold effort to show that the 1970s had more than just disco, more than just Southern rock, but also the entrance and emergence of reggae. So Bob Marley would be a definite pick for that decade. But now we're going to be talking about 2 of the most overlooked artists of all time. This time, why don't we start with Matt Millan, a man who just can't get enough of Irish music as long as U2's not in it. Go ahead, Matt. Tell us.
I do love Irish. Thin Lizzy is one of my favorite bands.
They're going to say Dropkick Murphys.
I do like Dropkick Murphys as well. But for overlooked artists, I would pick Caius.
Say again. What's that?
Caius. They were the originators of desert rock. Came out of Palm Springs in the late 80s, early 90s. Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age was in Caius. So, and their sound, the sludgy sound they created. I mean, they created desert rock, and they're one of the stoner rock staples.
Yeah,
right.
Good pick.
They're just Welcome to Sky Valley is my favorite album in the 1990s. It's just an absolute
awesome.
I mean, the sludginess and Josh Holmes' sound that he creates, man. That dude is my favorite guitarist in the world.
So it's Caius. How do we spell that in case people want to look that up?
K-Y Jelly USS. Yeah.
Okay, everyone get that?
KYUSS. Yeah.
Being speechless.
Yeah. Apparently so. And that was a band I came to later too. I liked Queens of the Stone Age, but
yeah,
I
like a lot of. I do enjoy a lot of the sludge and stoner rock and metal, and Caius is definitely a great pick for that.
Yeah, and Welcome to Sky Valley is like the perfect album for me. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So and also, yeah, I know. I mean, as far as overlooked too, that's why I didn't pick Queens of the Stone Age, but their Songs for the Deaf is an absolutely fantastic album. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Queens of the Stone Age got a lot more mainstream exposure than Caius did, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. About that, everybody. Sometimes I have to walk away. I just get so emotionally embedded in all this. Apologies. Okay, so the Caius, we all know how to do that. Okay, let's get to most overlooked artists of all time. Give us your first pick there, Sean. Please tell it. at this time?
I think one of the most criminally underrated bands in rock history is the band Big Star. The frontman, lead singer Alex Chilton was the lead singer of the Box Tops. People are probably familiar with the song "The Letter" that Dean has performed actually. And in the 70s, he fronted a band called Big Star. He was the frontman, but the guitarist Chris Bell was definitely um, the the power behind that band. But I think they definitely should have been more popular than they were. If you listen to them, unfortunately, they had the name Big Star. They weren't really big stars. And to
Yeah.
top it off, their first album was called Number One Record. People might not be familiar with them, but if you know the opening theme to the that 70s show, that is one of their songs, but I believe it's Cheap Trick performing it, if I'm not mistaken, but it is a Big Star song.
Yeah, Cheap Trick. Wow, there's a good one. Okay, my pick, my first pick here tonight is I'm going to pick a band that really came in the end of the 1990s, although they were around a lot longer than that. They're from the north of England. They're kind of known just for one song, which they got ripped off by, but still, their songs in catalog of songs are way more incredible and very eclectic than the big song you probably know of, and that's The Verve from
Yes,
Wigan, England.
fantastic
You probably
band.
know them from Bittersweet. Oh man, Bittersweet Symphony. But it goes beyond that. If you go into the early albums, you get into the song History,
Yeah, they're
Ocean,
really
and I mean,
great pick, man.
just oh, thank you, thank you. Just kind of the one of those bands that has that big song, and they totally got diverted with the the entrance and influx of Puff Daddy, who just took over all of like MTV and everything, and starting in '98, sadly, and then new metal came and all that. Just
And
so
they had that
they're great.
ridiculous lawsuit by the Rolling Stones manager as well. So.
Well, he actually, the good news is he finally got full royalties of the song because Mick and Keith signed it over to him.
Well,
It
'cause
wasn't
I
them
believe
who.
that, yeah, they weren't happy with the lawsuit against, yeah.
No, it was Alan Klein who was doing
Yeah.
the lawsuit. He wanted to make the money. Who also became the manager of the Beatles, I think, in their last year. So he was a very greedy, grubby, you know what. But anyways, the Verve, and first concert I ever saw live was the Verve in 1997, somewhere
Oh, lucky you,
around
man.
there at Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim. Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim, the Mighty Mighty Ducks. So it was a real trip and a treat, rather. So that's my pick. Okay, so we're going back to Matt for his number one pick of the most overlooked artists of all time. I'm looking forward to this one because he picked Caius as his first one. Let's see what he picks for his all-time overlooked
That
artist.
was a tough one. I finally settled on the Gun Club. They were a country punk band.
Okay.
Jeffrey Lee Pierce was their lead singer. Really tragic story about him, but he was a really special, unique singer, and just their album Miami is just so good. That came out, I think, in '82. They probably the most popular song was Mother of Earth, and Dave Gahan of Depeche Mode just did a really good version of it. So it's
Oh
a
yeah,
really haunting.
yeah. I love
It's a,
Depeche Mode.
it's a
Yeah.
really haunting country. I mean, country punk song. So
Oh, nice, very nice. Okay, so again, what was that band? Just for those out there taking notes, one more time.
the Gun Club, and
The
they're
Gun
they're
Club.
they're a band that also they never made it big, but they influenced so many artists. Like for one, Dave
Yes.
Gahan was a big fan. LA Witch, the band out of LA right now that's getting sizable. They're huge Gun Club fans. So
Very nice, very nice. Okay, final pick here for the most overlooked artists of all time. And give us your number one pick, Sean, if you can at this time. Please give it to us.
Another artist that I would pick would be the folk singer songwriter Tim Buckley. He was the father of Jeff Buckley. not very well known in the mainstream. He was the writer of the "Song to the Siren," if you're familiar with that. But great catalog of music. Um, I think he was probably influential to a lot of musicians, but not a lot of mainstream exposure. I think he was a great artist.
Very, very good. Okay, yes, good pick. My pick, before I do I want to give some honorable mentions too. I want to say, sticking with the theme of people who would be considered one-hit wonders, really are just truly great. I want to throw Devo in there. Because if you get in Devo's deep tracks on their albums, that was an innovative band outside of the
Absolutely.
hats and the gimmicks, right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, right around that change from the 70s and 80s, there's just a plethora of bands, that might have been overlooked because there was so much going on at that time. I mean, just the other day we were talking about that, Matt. We were talking about prog rock and some of those bands. It goes beyond just Yes, that band.
Yeah,
But
Uriah Heep, King Crimson. Yeah.
yeah, so I want to give honorable mention to them. Also, I'm going to have to give an honorable mention to a band that I discovered when they were just an independent band. I heard them for the first time on K-Rock before anyone else did. I had a cassette tape, and I remember recording it, on the radio. You just jam it in there. And that's Ben Folds 5, which I really got into. And that's kind of when I was getting into piano. It was a 3-piece band with a piano guy who sang, a bass player, stand-up bass, and played fuzz bass, and then a drummer. And they played original, it could be like Elton John-esque with jazz or undertones and very punk overtones. Just an incredible catalog of work. So them. But my number one pick of all time, I'm going to have to say, because they did not get a fair chance in the mid 60s due to the corrupt police departments that were putting faulty drug charges on some of the biggest artists in England, which prevented visas from being dished out and prevented them from riding the British invasion wave. And that's the Kinks. They got a raw deal. And,
Yeah.
the Kinks have very
Talk
eclectic
about
body work.
talk about innovative too, using the banjo and they were one of the vanguard of hard rock that was going to lead to heavy metal. So.
Oh yeah, and I believe one of the first or second bands outside of the Everly Brothers of that era and the Isley Brothers, they had brothers in the band. So
yeah,
they started that long-standing tradition. Sean, did you want to add to that?
Always,
are you against my pick? Sean, are you against that pick? I was just.
No, I think the Kinks were a great band, but I feel that they got a fair amount of commercial exposure. They definitely were.
Well, we're getting pushback. We're getting pushback from Sean. Keep going, Sean. I love it.
No, they definitely were innovative. They pushed that hard rock sound. Before the store-bought effects were available. I mean, they were slicing up their wires and doing things to their amplifiers to get that distortion sound. So they definitely were an innovative band with some great songs.
Yes, they were.
And
Matt, do you want to add to that? Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah,
go ahead, Matt. Tell us.
So Weird Al takes Lola and he turns it into Yoda. Yeah. He actually made the song less funny than the original, man. I mean, Lola is one of the funniest songs of all time, man. So,
yeah.
So for me, that was always puzzling because I heard Yoda when I was a kid. That's funny. And then I heard and I was like, and I'm a man and so is Lola. And that was the punchline at the end of the song. I was like, oh.
I'll tell you, I don't know how history is going to look back at artists like Weird Al Yankovic, because I can't really take, him. I don't know, but Amish Paradise will forever be a classic in my
absolutely,
book.
Yeah. And I appreciate the corruption of songs. So
I do too. And I just one last honorable mention too, and we have a break coming back, and we'll come back. But is also, if you really get into the inner depths of the deep tracks of the Monkees towards the later half of that career, you're going to hear some really fantastic far out songs. you know, a lot of bands of that era had some incredible deep tracks, weird, eclectic, even the Byrds, if I might add. So
Yeah.
just throwing that out there. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break here, everybody. You are watching a members only kind of affair here tonight, as I have the two of your favorite jabronis in the world here. I have the wonderful Sean Gregorian, returning champ, they say, and as well as the new kid on the block, well, to many of us, Matt Millan. But we're going to take this quick break. When we get back, we're going to learn a little bit what is Matt up to, what has he been doing, and how did we meet? What an incredible story that should be. You don't want to miss it. So we'll be right back. This is Late Night Thoughts, a members-only kind of affair. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
This next story here, this goes to show of all the shills we talk about in government. Well, certainly that applies to media as well. And you can't talk about shills and not talk about, well, Laura Loomer, who I've been just very fond of including in the shows lately. Well, she's now part of a new series called How to Make a Shill. In this next clip, you're going to see a prank, not gone wrong, but gone right. As some activists who wanted to sponsor her and wanted to see if they can get her to do anything. Well, they wanted to sponsor her by saying they had a new food item, as you can see there, the dog food, and they said it's edible for humans and dogs too. Or doesn't know is that it's only edible and its only recommended consumption are for dogs themselves, which is probably why she started eating it. Only if she knew. We'll discuss after.
Positive really is an amazing company. Not only do they have these emergency pet kits, but they also have these supplements here. And this is human grade, okay? This is human grade, and I just want to show you now. I'm going to actually do this live on air so you can see for yourself, okay? 100% human grade ingredients is what it says here on the package. And the ingredients are Alberta grass-finished bison liver, Alberta grass-finished bison heart, Alberta grass-finished kidney. These are the same type of nutrients that you can find in the beef organs that you purchase for yourself, right? But this is all protected bison that comes from Canada. So that means that there's no hormones, there's no vaccines given to the bison. So you could actually share these nutrients with your animals. So you could eat this yourself. And I'm going to show you, this isn't a gimmick. This is not just, some trash dog food from China. Okay. These are supplements and these are products that are so healthy and natural that you could actually eat it yourself. So you can see here, positive bison. It clearly says dog food topper. And I'm going to put this in my mouth right now. Oh, it tastes like meat. And maybe that is disgusting to you. But I'll show you right here. Look, this is the bison product right here. It clearly says dog food topper.
What a great actress.
You can see on camera. Actually tastes good. I'm not going to lie. So 100% human grade ingredients, nutrition for your dog in every bite. It's so healthy that you could even eat it yourself.
That's How to Make a Shill with Laura Loomer coming to NBC this fall. And it just tastes so good. Thank you, Laura. We'll make sure to tune in for that. We are back. We are back. We are back here at Late Night Thoughts. And I'm still your host, Dean Ryan here. I am back. Okay. let's get back to business here. Thank you for being here. Members only kind of night here. Yeah, that's a wonderful new show, How to Make a Show, with that wonderful, impressive canine herself, Laura Lumar. We're going to do a little, just a little change up here tonight. As you saw, Matt is an incredible filmmaker, and you'll find out why here shortly. But we hadn't spoken in 10 years, and we still have a lot of catching up to do. But Matt was Matthew Millan. That is, I met him in 2013 at a film festival in Palm Springs, and he was part of a film I was doing for with Alex Jones at that time, The Obama Deception 2. And we immediately hit it off. He's been in the Middle East making films ever since. And we're going to learn a little about how, get his take on how we met and all that stuff and what he's up to today. Let's welcome back to the stage a man who's probably going to win tonight's panel, the one and the only Matt Millan. Matt, yes, it's true. We have a lot of catching up to do. And you have an incredible story. But it's so good to be reunited. It feels so good, like that song
Absolutely,
says.
man. It's been way too long. Yeah.
And so we met 10 years ago, and you were a filmmaker, and that was kind of a new world to me. And one of the films I would love to show the members is a film that critically acclaimed, Stronger Than Bullets, which maybe if you give a little overview of what that is. I got a little trailer, and then we'll hear about what you're up to today, but a little synopsis, if you will.
It's about the rock and roll revolution that happened in Libya during the actual revolution, the 2011 revolution. And it starts out with, actually in the 80s, Gaddafi actually had all the music instruments, Western music instruments, piled into piles and had bonfires of them. So music was very repressed for many years in Libya. So it was just, while the reporters were running to the front line, I saw this story unfold in Benghazi, which was just these musicians. Right. There was country music, metal, hip hop. Hundreds of bands just popped up overnight just to basically say, fuck you to Gaddafi. And it was,
right.
And then, but the music scene, it was like a medfly, the life though, because, then after the revolution, the political vacuum happened, and then that just took the music scene with it. And that's really what Stronger Than Bullets is about. So
let me ask you, because we're going to watch just a percentage of the trailer, but what do you think it is about war that inspires creativity? Because I think it was your film, now that I'm thinking about it, subconsciously, that inspired one of the quotes that I kind of came up with, and I put in my bio, that I say, never underestimate your creativity in a time of war. And I'm now thinking about that probably came from being inspired with what you were teaching me all those years ago. So I want to ask you, so what do you think it is about these great times of peril that inspire the artist within, and in this case, music?
I think anger is a major motivator. And particularly, in an oppressive system, when the pressure is released, then suddenly they have all this freedom of movement and the freedom to do this. And I think you combine that with just the rage that was just building up for years, the helpless rage, and it just comes out in all forms of expression. It's like go back to the mid 60s, all with the civil rights movement, with Vietnam, the sheer rage of the younger generation at being fed a bunch of horse shit about American foreign policy.
Yeah.
And getting drafted to go to die in a country that we shouldn't be in to begin with. So
sure.
And
yeah.
I mean, and think of, just go back, think of Ohio, the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song.
Yeah. Kent State, yeah.
Neil Young wrote that in 30 minutes because he read the articles and he was so pissed off. He wrote that song in like 30 minutes.
What's incredible too, now that this is coming to my mind, is even when you look at the British invasion, a lot of those bands came from the north of England, which was decimated for years after the bombings from Germany in post World War II. But you saw so many incredible artists, the Beatles, of course, that derived from war-torn, Liverpool, England, and places like that.
Well, look at
So
Birmingham.
there is something to be
Birmingham,
said.
England. I mean, Birmingham, England
Yeah,
produced, Judas Priest, Black
Ozzy.
Sabbath, some of yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Even the Verve, they're from Wigan, which is around that same area. And steel abandoned factories. There was a lot of hard times in England, and still is to this date. But I want to show, if we can, if we have a little time. This is a trailer of Matt's critically acclaimed film, and then we're going to ask him what he's doing today. But let's go back in the time warp here and check out his finest.
Finally, this evening, a couple of what we might call cultural oddities. First, Libya, where they certainly take their music criticism seriously. Many of us have seen rock bands break up their instruments as part of the act, but this is no act. Libya's leader, Colonel Gaddafi, says that Western musical instruments distort Arab culture and heritage, and so they were burned in many of Libya's public squares.
There's a beating heart here of life and art and pure.
When you live here 20 years and when they happen something like that, you're part of that. I mean, the best time.
Music and art is a threat to any oppressive regime, okay? Music free people.
Strength is more power than politics. Stronger than politics.
Wow, I get, every time I see, that was my buddy Masroud, the last guy, I get really emotional because he died in 2014. So,
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, Matt, I know it's been a handful of years since that came out, but you should still be proud of that film because that will live on in a historical, Ziploc bag in a time capsule. It was great work on that. So, we want to show that film, obviously, to our members, but go ahead, share some sentiment if you would.
I was going to just also say that it really shows the rise and fall of the Arab Spring, I think, very accurately, because I lived in Libya during and after the revolution. So I saw, the political vacuum that finally swallowed Libya up into civil war. And, as you see with all these things, is things may start on a grassroots level, but they get hijacked. They get hijacked very quickly by powers, and especially with money coming in from places like Qatar and Saudi Arabia.
Hijack big time. I mean, even with artists, we see it, as Sean was saying earlier. Taylor Swift started off as a young, darling in country music, and now look at her. She's the, a spokesperson for Baphomet. But Matt, we have in the time that we have, what is Matt Millan doing today? What is? Are you still looking in the Middle East? Is that in your spectrum of observation? What are your projects that we should look forward to in present day, if you could?
Well, one of them was about it takes place in Oman, and it's about two Arab women and an English woman who crossed the Arabian desert. So it's an expedition film, totally different than Stronger Than Bullets, but I'm really proud of that film as well. And then we're working on one in about Niger, about the peaceful means of fighting against jihadism. But, you know, that film took a left turn because the coup that happened in Niger in 2023. And so all the subjects we were working with had to flee. So now they're scattered all over the world. So, but that one was
fascinating.
Well, what was so amazing about it, you could see that these guys were, I mean, they had a vocational program for former terrorists to train them how to fix they were actually trying to reintegrate many of them into the population rather than just like in Mali, they just go in and kill everybody. And if they don't like you, they call you a terrorist and then they kill you.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So,
yeah. So and that's something we want to get into. We'll have to get into that. Go ahead. We have a time delay. I apologize.
Go
ahead.
I still focus a lot in the Middle East, but we're also, I was hired as an investigator to find the James Bond Aston Martin DB5 that was disappeared from Florida 30 years ago. And that was the one from Goldfinger. So the gadget car in Goldfinger, it was stolen 30 years ago. So we've been searching for that. So.
And by the way, this is kind of what I said nights ago on the main show. I said I knew somebody who was actively looking for that, and it's a wild story that Matt's going to have to tell us sometime. I totally agree on that. And here we have Marnie Savick, one of our members, saying the following. She says, "Wow, whoa, looks great, Matt." Yes, and Blondie says that would be amazing to see, and I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, imagine if we could, the music that could come out of Gaza, if there's even a slight chance that's of a possibility. But I would say even the music coming out of, places over, rough places here in the U.S., I see some sort of connection happening. But let's now continue there. And we'll wait for Matt's next project. And we'll get all on top of that for you here. And I wasn't going to say, but we have to address the rumor that Matt, do you want to talk about your former career as in the WWE? As do you want to talk about this? I didn't want to bring it up, but that's the one part of your career that you don't really highlight as much. Do you want to talk about what it was like to be Triple H?
Yeah, that what was funny is that when I was in Egypt and Libya, that was the first thing people would say. So because I had long hair like that, so
yeah. So even me, we'll come back to that. Okay, everybody, we're going to make a hard segue, and this is a hard one to do, but there's an art to the segue. Now we're going to really finish up our topsy-turvies picks here. Is now we're going to talk about the top 2 musical guilty pleasures. That's right, Sean. We're starting with you, and please don't hold back, because I have a feeling I know who you're going to say first. So top 2, we're going to start with Sean, and then go to Matt, and then I'll slam dunk it home. Go ahead, Sean, at this time.
I can't believe I got to follow that last segment with this, but I kind of like the Spice Girls.
Well, we're going to end the show there, everybody. Thank you very much. Sean, that was very nice of you. Very nice of you, and thank you for tuning in. We're sorry we disappointed. Sean hates women is what we've learned here tonight, and guy's named Tupac. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so you want to expand on that? Well, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Do you want to expand on that, Sean?
Yeah, sure.
Just why and where were you when you decided you liked the Spice Girls?
Well, I mean, it absolutely has nothing to do with any of the other music that I listen to, but I like some of their songs. I think they're all right. And my favorite is Ginger and her solo material.
Okay, wow. And okay, well, that's Sean Gregorian, everybody from Connecticut, and Spice Girls, yeah. All right, Matt, you want to follow that?
Why, Sean? Because it's guilty pleasure, Seth. I had to pick something.
Well, that's gonna make mine land softly, man. So.
I was gonna say, you can only go up from here, Matt. Go ahead, give us your second to top most guilty pleasure there, if you will?
Mine's an interesting one because it's a band that if I'm ever a Manchurian Candidate, I will assassinate a president if you play the song True by Spandau Ballet. That's how much I hate the song. However, and I went through my whole life hating them, like a homicidal rage hatred, until I heard their first album, Journeys to Glory, and I just love it. And then maybe now it's making me reassess my whole hatred of the band, to be honest.
You know, I heard in an interview, I heard Ted Bundy say the same thing, you know, before he murdered people. He says that was the song that made him do it. But Matt, I want to ask you and then finish your thought.
He must have been a clairvoyant then. So good for Ted Bundy.
Well, just
for
for people,
he knew the song was
just
coming.
For people who may not know what that song that you're talking about, can you maybe give us a reference? Can you kind of maybe hum it or sing it out?
No,
because we may not know what that song is.
The problem is it'll trigger me, and then I mean, there are no world leaders around, so that's good. But it's a 40-year-old song. It's the one that goes ha 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 hi hi. I know this much is true. I'm gonna rap it instead of actually singing it.
Well,
because
so we know the closed captions of it, but I think it goes like.
No, please don't.
Know this much it is, or the way Matt did it, ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
So
that's
just to give you an example.
They like their song "To Cut a Long Story Short" made me reassess everything about. So, I mean, is it guilty pleasure? I mean, I'm not ashamed of it, but I think it's guilty because
don't beat yourself.
Yeah,
don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up, Matt. I mean, after all, you heard what Sean just said moments ago. So I'm going to go now. Thank you very much. I can only go up from here, can I? Okay. My pick here is, and I thought long and hard about this. I really did. I thought really long and hard. And it pains me on some level to say it, and I'm quite stunned. But is this thing on? We might have to. I'm a big fan of the 90s catalog up to about 90, well, throughout the entire 90s of Madonna's 90s work with William Orbit as the producer. And I thought, especially the Ray of Light album, I thought had some really great sounds and songs on it. I think her music got so overshadowed by her persona, where she was really trying too hard to be like a sex kitten and like a new version of Marilyn Monroe, and like the song she did, was it Like a Virgin? And it's a great song. And then you see the video and she's like, you know, fornicating and with stuff. But that aside, you can't deny some great tunes in the 1990s, I thought, with some great producers like William Orbit, who did, you know, you just name a big band. I mean, no matter what I said, it wasn't going to be as bad as Sean's first pick, though. So I feel better. Go ahead, Sean. Tell us your next pick, if you will. Number one, top, most guiltiest pleasure, Sean.
Well, it's funny because I was gonna pick the band ABC, the British band, which was kind of sort of from the same scene as Spandau Ballet, but I'm gonna keep them really bad and go with you remember Color Me Bad?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I want to sex you up, man.
Yes, you do.
No, that song was stupid. But if you delve
oh yeah,
into
that's
some
the
of
stupid one.
Yeah, they had some good songs. I'm sorry.
Sean, you're supposed to be guilty pleasures.
Tulsa, Oklahoma's finest. So.
Yeah. No, come on. I'm digging deep here. I'm going out on a limb with these guilt. Come on, Madonna's William Orbit era. Come on, that's not a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Spandau Ballet really is either. So I mean.
Okay. Well, All right. Okay. So your pick is one more time, Sean, just because I like to hear it.
What, my favorite song?
Seth, good point. It's Color Me Turquoise, the cover band I did of Color Me Bad. Thank you. I forgot about that era here at RDM. We forgot about that. And Maddie Lynn is laughing her derriere off at you, Sean. So anyways, okay. So wonderful pick. So we'll recap after. Okay, go ahead. Top pick for most guilty pleasure, if you would, Matt Millan at this time.
Dead or Alive. You know, You Spin Me Right Round.
Interesting.
Because that was something, you know, my metal Matt of the 80s and 90s would be horrified by. That's why I first thought Depeche Mode, but that's not guilty at all. You know, like they were a really dark, interesting band. But I think Dead or Alive, because, you know, they also came, they were very derivative. But I admire their steel for basically dressing trans in the early 1980s. That took some steel to do that. You know, that took some serious courage at first to do that. So, and I really admire them. Like also Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I admire them a lot for doing what they did. Just as, you know, because of we take it for granted, but in the early 80s to do that shit, you know. They could easily have gotten attacked. Yeah. But I'll go with.
And what was the big song? What was the big song from Dead or Alive? Just so people out there know, if you could maybe give us a reference, like you did last time.
You Spin Me Right Round. I'm sure everybody remembers that song. Yeah.
I was hoping I was getting ready to do the beat for you. Okay, that's wonderful. All right, here's my number one pick, and everyone's here has great picks, and the Spice Girls, you know. That's a tough one to beat. Let me do an honorable mention. Honorable mention for me is Phil Collins is my honorable mention because as much as Phil Collins he kind of had the world's attention in the beginning with In the Air Tonight, Miami Vice. He was virtually everywhere throughout the 80s. Well, towards the end of the 80s, you know, he was starting to do covers of Diana Ross. That's kind of where he lost a lot of people. But that aside, I mean, you can't deny his songwriting prowess. But with that said, my guilty pleasure, and say what you will, but for me, my number one is Boys to Men. There's something about those songs, maybe because they were written by Babyface, who's incredible. But it's a time where I think it was the last time in the United States we had true R&B groups that could sing and had talent, and before
like Another Bad
pitch
Creation.
correctors.
Another Bad Creation. So.
Well, also too, they brought back a lot of the harmonies of the R&B. They brought back a lot of what we saw in the Temptations in the 60s. So it was kind of a retroistic vibe they had. But we have a lot of people who said a lot of other things too. We have Seth Black, who's coming out of the record player tonight saying Beyond Thunderdome by Tina Turner. That's a good one. We don't need another hero. Yeah, that was pretty well. Okay.
I always wondered about that one though, because you really age yourself. You put yourself in 1985 if you mention the Thunderdome in your goddamn song. So.
Yeah, the Thunderdome with Mel Gibson in it. Okay, we have Marnie Savick that says the following. I still love Green Day. Dean hates them. They're all politically confused. See, I hate Green Day for an assortment of reasons. Number one, the lead singer and the drummer were the two of the biggest assholes to me in real life. Almost got me fired at a jump. Two, they're the biggest assholes to everybody just in real life. And he's the most pretentious. He's like a miniature Bono, pint size. And he stole, Boulevard of Broken Dreams is a total ripoff of Wonderwall. There's no doubt about it. In fact, they had a guy come up on stage, Matt and Sean, I think you know, who they invited to play that song with them. And he started playing Wonderwall. They kicked him off the stage. So, see, that's my trigger. That's my...
It's 90s pop punk. I mean, The only
Yeah.
the only band that could do pop punk was the Buzzcocks. That was the only band that really got the pop punk down. So yeah.
So just to recap here, with most guilty pleasures, Sean Gregorian over there in Connecticut, father of one and loved by many, but could change. But Spice Girls, and his second pick was Color Me Bad. Whew, man. How about Color Me new name and identity after tonight? Okay, and Matt's was True Ballet. I think I'm getting that right. True Ballet.
Spandau Ballet.
Spandau Ballet. I get my ballets mixed up. And then the second one was
Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive. I'm getting mixed up. There's a lot of trannies around these neck of the woods here. And mine was honorable mention Phil Collins, obviously. Number one pick, Boys to Men. And my number two pick, the first one I did is the most guiltiest pleasure, was Madonna's 90s catalog. So there you have it. Okay, so we're going to, on a quick note here, just to end off quick, why don't we go around and Sean, start with us if you could. In fact, why don't we start with Matt since he's our guest? Tell us quickly, Matt, if you could, the two bands we want to recommend for everybody. I'm going to put them in the live chat. Give us maybe a quick synopsis on each band, if you would, and so people can look these things up. So go ahead.
Slomosa from Norway. They call themselves Tundra Rock, and they're very much in the vein of Fugazi and Queens of the Stone Age, but they're very interesting band. Got an interesting look, just everything about them, and they've got a lot of balls because they're an up and coming band, and you know they're more than happy to tackle.
And what genre?
They probably loosely called stoner rock, but they're very. I mean, they remind me a lot of Fugazi actually. So, and a lot of they've got a lot of the Queens of the Stone Age feel to them. So yeah.
Wonderful. And Seth loves Slomosa. And your second pick for bands people need to keep an eye on.
This is the first, and this is my buddy Angelo's band out of Topanga Canyon.
Okay.
And it's called Grand Yukon Territory, and they just released an EP, and I think it's phenomenal. It's got a lot of how do you describe it? It's very much like I call it the grunge 2.0, because he has a little Kurt Cobain into his voice, but it's also a little Neil Young in it, and a little stoner rock. I mean, the next EP is going to be all stoner rock, but this one has a little more diversity to it.
Cool.
And it's just it's a dark journey. It's almost a concept album where each song is kind of a dark journey into the soot-caked heart of Americana. So.
Very good picks. Very good picks. Sean, if you could, tell us about some new artists that people need to be on, the lookout for, if you could.
One of them is kind of sort of a local independent artist in my area. The artist is Slugweed, it's called, and staying in the sludge doom theme here. It's sort of a one-man band. I've seen him live. He does things on the bass guitar that you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's intense power and low end. And I like it. If you like that kind of music, it's great music.
I'm writing that down because that sounds right up my alley, man.
Yeah. Yes. Slugweed. Yeah.
Slugweed. Okay. And then tell us your number one pick of artists that the Night Owls need to be on the lookout for, if you could.
I didn't mention this one before because I know we had a previous conversation, but I wanted to give a shout out to my my nephew's band. They're kind of a progressive rock metal band. He's the lead singer, and they're called Enfierce. It's spelled Enfierce, and not just because he's my nephew, but they're really good. They're a really good band, very proficient musicians, and they play heavy prog music, and they're really good. I like them.
Sounds right up my alley too.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you want to talk about Purity Ring at all? Because I had that in the rotation.
Yeah, that
already.
was the original one that I had. I just wanted to give a shout out to my nephew's band.
Okay.
But yeah, Purity Ring, I think they're a really good like indie pop band, very, very electronic sounding. But I think I just think it's just good sounding music. It's well done. It's creative, and yeah, that's about it. I just think they're a
Very good
indie band that's fun to listen to if you like electronic music.
You certainly do. Okay, that's it. Well, you know, I wish I had two artists. I kind of go off these two guys. You know, Sean knows what band that I like. That's from Houston, the guitar trio or whatever. I can't even say their name. Sean knows who I'm talking about, right, Sean? The ones that we discovered at Coachella.
Oh, Kruangbin. Yeah.
I can't even spell it, everybody. If he types it in the live chat, can you type it in the live chat? I can't type, but I like that band.
Right. Yeah.
That's pretty much all I know. I like to dip in the past in the deeper tracks of things, so it's not necessarily new. Which I think our next episode, if these guys are so gracious and join us on the stage again, I want to do some well-hidden deep tracks of some of the biggest bands of all time. That these are the album fillers that someone say, but not the case. I think we're going to be tackling that next time, because that's where the beauty is, the magic. So that's my thing. We have Seth Black, who says Rabbi Shmuley has a good band. Oh, does he? Yeah.
Obviously a stoner rock band, given how he looks.
Yes. Heavy jazz. Sean, okay, yeah, there it is. Sean wrote it down. Yeah, Kringaben is the band Dean mentioned. Yeah, wonderful band. We love that one.
Yeah,
okay, so we're gonna
easy to remember though that name. Jesus.
I know. Is it too late to change it? Can we do something about it? I don't know. It's just incredible. I don't know. I wish I knew more. I knew more new artists. I could say when I have my original album, when I have finally have a chance to actually record it, I think people might like that. I think they might be surprised. So anyways, we're going to end it there. Matt, how was it? We're going to end it there. It wasn't too bad. I hope it's your first time on with me. We hope you come back.
I'm an absolute music nerd. So, and I mean, my buddies and I would just sit there and drink and talk about music. So.
Yeah. And Sean, you did good.
Any chance.
Good. Yes. Thanks. And Seth, thank you. That's the name of his band. It's called Shmuley and the Semites. I love that hit single they have. Yes. I love that hit single called what's it called? Wrecking Matzo Ball. I don't know. All right, everybody. We're gonna end it there. Members, thank you for being here tonight. You make the world go round. And guys, I'll talk to you backstage. But until next time, for Sean Gregorian, the returning champ, and for the newcomer who's challenging the title, the wonderful, not Triple H, but Triple Matt Millan. Thank you for being here. It's so good to see you. Triple M. And so for all of them, I'm Dean Ryan saying thank you. And until next time, always remember to stay tuned. And you guessed it, always remember to stay awake. Good night, everybody. And make it a good one, and have a very wonderful, safe weekend. See you soon.
My